Okay guys, I wanted to make a quick video on how to play Battleship. I looked at some of our game boards when we handed them in last time, and they weren't drawn up exactly the way that I want them. So I think that this video will help you figure out how to play the game, understand the game, and have it be fun at the same time. So most of us get the general setup probably because we've played this a lot. If you haven't, basically you read the front rules here that we read together in class, and the goal is down here at the bottom to sink the entire fleet of your partner, and if you do that you are champion. So to make this a little bit easier, I have written down the 5 different ships that you would get in a battleship game. So a battleship itself is worth 4 units, the cruiser is 3, the submarine is 3, the destroyer is 2, and the big old aircraft carrier is 5. So as you guys are laying out your ships, you have to, like if you're doing the battleship, it has to take up 4 units. So when you draw it, you can see where I'm drawing here in red, you have to make it go 4 units. And I know that doesn't exactly look like a ship. I saw some people kind of like drawing out like this. You don't want to do that. So when you're making your ships, this is my battleship here, okay? And now the cruiser, I'll do that one next. The cruiser would be, your cruiser would be 3 units. So I could make the cruiser, like over here, it has to be 3 across. And then the submarine is also 3, but I'm allowed to go diagonally. So from here to here, we'll count that as 3, even though mathematically this is actually a little bit longer than 3. We'll work on that later this year, but for now, we'll just count that as 3. Destroyer is the little one, it's worth 2. So you can also put these guys right on the Y and the X axis too. And the aircraft carrier is going to be 5, so I'm going to take that and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put it through here. Now your offensive grid is what I'll switch colors for the offensive grid. So the offensive grid down here, in X means that you hit your opponent, and an O means that you missed. So I'm going to take a guess at my opponent, and let's say I guess the point 2, 4. So 2, 4 is the point that's right here, okay? Now let's say that I did that and I missed. So I know that his ship is not on this one, okay? You can see if it would have been up here, it would have been a hit on mine, but let's just say for the sake of argument that it's not, so that one was a miss. And then let's say the next one you guess is like -1, -4. So that would be 1 left and 4 down, and let's say this one is a hit, so my opponent's ship is here, and as soon as I get a hit I start thinking, okay, well what's his ship, you know, what's it looking like? Do I think it's going like this? Do I think it's like this? Do I think it's like this? And eventually I get a pattern and I sink the ship. So another thing to keep track of as you're playing Battleship is when you're on your defensive grid, if your opponent hits you, so like let's say your opponent guessed 2, 4 and you had a ship right here, you need to keep track of that too. So when you get hit, you need to put the mark on your page, and then eventually when they figure it out, all of them are hit, and that just sunk my battleship. And then in order to completely win the game, one player has to completely lose all of their ships. And that is how the game of Battleship is going to work in math class. Thank you for listening.